We are live. We are live. Welcome to college football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do us well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. And if you want to support this independent national rebel outpost of all of college football with a donation, help us keep the lights on and grow this channel, just hit that dollar sign where you make a comment and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. Right off the bat, I'm calling a timeout. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. The fat guy from Minnesota is calling a timeout. My X account, my X account was not allowing me to come in. They were not allowing me to post. I just want to make sure. Hold on. I want to make sure I've got... Yes. Okay, everything's okay now. So as the live music was playing, for the first time in a long time, my X account asked me who the hell I was. I'm in. We're okay. Everything's okay. Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Sunday, June 21st. Father's Day and all that. I've been thinking about my dad today. Anyways, look, I'm not going to apologize. Anthony Carlson, congratulations on the walk-off win against those evil White Sox for the Detroit Tigers. Congratulations, Mr. Sparty. Way to go. Way to go. I'm not going to apologize to Studzilla. I'm not going to apologize to Humble Bumble Duck. Nice to see you, Humble Bumble Duck. I'm not going to apologize to the Ohio Bobcats, Stephen Vitt. By the way, we talked about your Ohio Bobcats yesterday, Stephen Vitt. Go check it out if you missed it. Moen. By the way, the MAC conference, their current TV rights, media rights, the contract that they signed a long time ago, isn't that up here soon? Am I remembering everything incorrect? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. By the way, okay, I'm going all over the place. I'm not going to apologize to Caleb Ramirez, Studzilla, Donnie McNearly, that CFB guy. Thanks, CFB guy. Appreciate it. I'm not going to be apologizing to Frank Potter or Kay Struthers. I'm not going to apologize to Mama Duck Clemson Tiger for doing another PATC rendition. Today. That's right. I don't know how many we've done over 4 years. Somewhere about 50 different songs. Throwing a bunch of fight songs. Today we're doing another PATC rendition. That's right. That's right. So, before we do it, I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning, but I'm going to tell you something. There are times where my performance is not up to the level that you all would desire. Sometimes my performance surprises you. Sometimes my performance is absolutely brilliant. And I think that today is quite possibly one of those brilliant performances. So, do not hide the women and the kids. Do not hide them. Bring them out when we start the PATC rendition. Remember, it's a song that has to do something with college football. A cappella. No, I don't need music. I don't need a violin or a guitar or a harmonica. A cappella, baby. When we do this song, bring the women and the children in the house. Bring the dogs and the cats up to the TV. All right? All right? And I'm not going to apologize. I am not going to apologize. We are going to do the spotlight on the Pittsburgh Panthers. I think it's team number 56. I believe it's team number 56. Wow. We've only got about 12 Power 4 teams left. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger, Cranky Tiger, and all the other Clemson Tigers in the PATC family, tomorrow, Monday, June 22nd, the Clemson Tigers are going to be under the PATC spotlight. So do not miss tomorrow's show, or if you missed it, please go back and watch it. But today is the Pittsburgh Panthers. Or a lot of people just call them the Pitt Panthers because that's basically their official name. The Pittsburgh Panthers, college football, PATC. And then, right up here, with the Big Ten and the SEC, will they begin their breakaway negotiation efforts with the NCAA soon. What kind of question is that? How could we possibly be asking the question? There very well may not be a breakaway. Of course, it's a dangerous, it's uncharted waters. Greg, how could you even ask that question? Do you know why I'm asking that question? Do you know why I'm asking that question on June 21st? Because the chatter behind the curtain is asking this question. And I have been told the reason why they're asking this question. So, I don't know. Look, I don't know when they're going to go. We'll get to it. We will get to the story for June 21st. I want to thank everybody for coming on in. I very much appreciate it. We got Skaven, yes. Hello, Mad Gopher. Matt Rule, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Very important season for them in 2026. We got the Sooner. We got the Boomer. The Oklahoma Sooners. Ryan Brooks. Go Tigers. Go Gators. Go Gators. Maniac Reactions is in the house. Another LSU Tiger. Rodney Richborg. Go Tigers. Charlie Atwood. Army of 24. MBM. The Oklahoma State Cowboy is in the house. That CFB guy is here. Studzilla is here. Stephen Vitt. Breaking away before the government goes crazy. I don't know. I've got a we'll get to it. This is something that we haven't talked about. I haven't even thought a negotiation with the NCAA. What are we talking about here? What are we even talking about here? Something was explained to me, and I'm not the brightest bulb in the refrigerator. You all know that I'm not the brightest bulb in the refrigerator. I just happen to know where every refrigerator is in every building that I walk into. But my light bulbs finally flickered on and said, whoa, that is true. This is potentially, most likely, going to be part of the story. And I was not aware of it until in the last so many hours. I'll put it that way. Stephen Vitt, thanks for coming on in. Humble Bumble Duck. Elvon Gully is in the house. Donnie McNerney, the architect. Frank Patek, Kay Struthers. Mike is here. Late but present. Smile time. Oh God, no. He doesn't like, or she doesn't like my singing. After today's dramatic PATC rendition. After today, I think the PATC renditions are going to become even more popular. The most popular song we've ever did, the most popular PATC rendition we ever did, is I Wear My Sunglasses at Night, when we talked about the Conor Stallion situation. When we talked about Conor Stallion. But this one is going to rank right up there. It's going to rank right up there. I cannot wait. Greg, I need an Abbey Road PATC rendition. Interesting, MBM. I got the keys. Keith Mohr is in the house. Daniel Gorby. Wait, let me close my windows. My neighbors don't need to hear this. Charlie Atwood. You might not understand what I'm about to say right now. But remember this. Because you are going to understand this when I'm singing this song. Closing your window during this PATC rendition today, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. Close the window, open the window. Everybody in the neighborhood is going to hear. So buckle up, brace for impact, Charlie Atwood. That's why I say bring the women and the children and the dogs and the cats into the house. It ain't gonna matter anyway. Dante's Inferno Purgatory is here. Two Master is in the house. Buckeye Greg is here. I believe in a thing called love. Shakedown. Every man a wildcat. Thanks for coming on in. Edward the Auburn Tiger. Smash that like button. Alani Ted. I already did. I did the Fleetwood Mac. I did that song. We did that song. I don't remember when. Not too long ago. A couple of months ago. Cal Bears is in the house. Jeremy Nork is here. Kay Struthers. Look at that. $5 holler. Thank you so much for your generosity. Starting us off today. Kay Struthers, loved your singing tribute to the blue and gold dude. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Yeah, that was a serious one. We've done a few serious ones, and that was the most serious one, other than my songs about my father and stuff. Yeah, that was a tough one. Thank you, Kay Struthers. Appreciate it very much. Every April, I think about them. I know a good friend of mine, Terry Nord, sent me about an hour ago. He sent a tribute to our my father and Jeff Olson's father, who you see in the chat room. A really good friend of mine who's an evil badger. He's in the chat room, Jeff Olson. Jeff Olson, father, my father, Terry Nord, father, Daniel Leonard, father, our four fathers who have all passed away. Sent the song, Dan Fogelberg, Leader of the Band song. I used to sing that song. I mean, we may have to get that one out of the cobwebs. So that song really hit me today. So thank you, Terry Nord, for sending me that. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kay Struthers. Thank you very much. D5 Terps is in the house. Thank you so much for your generosity as well, Kay Struthers. Appreciate it. Who else is there? AFKA guy. Mohr Simmons is here. Coy is here. Love the leader of the band. It is a great tribute. Great song. Fleetwood Flugs. I know, and I butchered that song, of course, but I did the song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. First of all, we are going to do the spotlight on the Pittsburgh Panthers. And then we'll go into the PATC rendition. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get everybody in the house to watch. Who are you going to watch today? Who exactly is getting on stage today, you might ask? Last time it was Flugar and the Heartbreakers, right? Flugar and the Heartbreakers. Today, it's Engelbert Flugar, 1967. What could we possibly be doing on stage? Well, you're going to find out in a little bit. Y'all are going to find out in a little bit. Here we go. Pittsburgh Panthers Spotlight. Interesting song. I mean, interesting song. Interesting team this year. We all remember Mason Heinschel, who came on strong last year. He was not even supposed to be their starter for the year. But he took the job. There were some injuries. He took the job, and he was fantastic. In fact, there's a couple of dudes on this Pittsburgh Panthers team that came on strong at the end of 2024. Intriguing. And it starts with the quarterback, Mason Heinschel, 2,300 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 69.5 completion percentage, 137.8 quarterback rating. Tough kid. And he was not supposed to play. He's way ahead of schedule. But what about this man, who also came on very strong at the end of last year? Had big games back-to-back. Jacurian Turner, holy smokes. 745 yards rushing, most of them the last 3 games of the season. 5.3 average per rush, 7 rushing touchdowns, 25 receptions. Again, Heinschel and Turner, the way they played at the end of the season. Remember, Pat Narduzzi, Pittsburgh Panthers teams, they always cave in at the end of the season. And they sort of did last year. But the players, the freshmen that were not supposed to see the field, they got developed quickly. So there's a lot of Panther fans that are really optimistic about some parts of this team. Blue Hicks. 24 receptions, 422 yards receiving, 17.6 average per reception, 4 receiving touchdowns. Again, a guy that wasn't really supposed to see too much of the field. If you remember, the Panthers got him in the portal from Louisville. He didn't even really play at Louisville. And his best game was against Louisville, of course, last year as the Pittsburgh Panthers. He is their leading receiver who has stayed with the team, and they're expecting big things out of Blue Hicks this year. His wingman, very interesting player out of Western Carolina, FCS. Malik Knight. Western Carolina, that was a big offensive team. They had a quarterback who had a sensational year. They threw the ball to a lot of targets. Malik Knight had 47 receptions, 774 yards receiving, 16.5 average per reception, 7 receiving touchdowns. Again, somewhat of an unknown, but Malik Knight is supposed to be the wingman of Blue Hicks. Interesting. So we got Heinschel, we got Jacurian Turner, who came on like a bandit at the end of last year. Blue Hicks, if you can develop a little bit more. Malik Knight on defense. Again, the one thing that you can know that the Pittsburgh Panthers are going to have is really good linebacker play. Raheem Bryles has gone from Pittsburgh. He transferred to the Texas Longhorns. Sensational linebacker. They had that Lewis, Styles, a great linebacker of a couple of years. He's in the NFL. Braylon Lovelace is the next guy. He is the next great Pittsburgh Panthers linebacker. The schedule for the Panthers. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not really bad. Miami and Louisville. Miami October 24th and at Louisville November 21st. California, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Boston College, UNC, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. Not too bad. Not too somewhat in the middle of the road schedule. I like for the Pittsburgh Panthers, I like how they start the schedule. Yes, Frank Potter. That Virginia Tech game is going to tell us a lot on October 2nd. Because I got a feeling, look, we've got Pittsburgh. Let me show you. We got Pittsburgh right outside of the top 8. So we got Pittsburgh number 9, and we got Virginia Tech number 6. So that Virginia Tech game, that is what we would call a swing and gate game for both those teams, in my opinion. If they can win on the road, which I do not have them winning that game, that's why I got them coming in 9th. But if they can win that game, then that home game against UNC on the road to BC, they could be 3-0 in conference play going against Miami. So anyways, Pittsburgh Panthers, we got them coming in 9th place. Mason Heinschel, the running back, the quarterback, they emerged last year, and they were not even supposed to play last year. So it's an interesting season for Pittsburgh. I will say this. Doing the deep dive on the Panthers, Numbskull News is in the house. They will beat UNC for sure. BYU football has Pittsburgh at 7-5. As I was, looking at the Pittsburgh Panthers, it does seem that they do not have, and hopefully, Panthers in the PATC family. And I know there's one of them that doesn't post here. I hope you take this in the spirit that it is delivered. It's just my opinion. They don't seem to have that high level offensive talent. That really high, like the guy, and they haven't had, Narduzzi doesn't seem to be able to attract that type of talent for this type of program under him as the head coach, a defensive-minded head coach. They get some tough dudes. They get some, on defense, they're able to do that. On offense, they did have a pretty good offense this season last year. Overall, I think they were ranked, they're pretty well coached. But they don't seem to have any really dynamic offensive playmakers. But we shall see. Again, Turner, the running back, was brilliant at the end of the year last year. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, let me know. Tell me how wrong I got it once again for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Steven Viz has them 8-4 possibly. Numbskull News 6-6. All right. Anytime I hear reference to Engelbert Humperdinck, I always think of The Princess Bride. And that is a nice segue. We are going to use that in the segue. For now, it's PATC rendition time. Now, it's time to call everybody into the house, the living room, into the car, wherever you are watching this live show, PATC rendition. There's a couple of rules to this. Number one, you cannot sue PATC. We are giving you a warning. You can hit the mute button. You can walk out of the house, whatever you need. But this time, I think everybody should gather in this dramatic PATC rendition. Number two, it's always a cappella. We don't need no help. We don't need no music. A cappella. And number three, we're doing a cover song. And we might not follow the whole song and how it's supposed to be sung. And number 4, the 4th rule is the story of the song has to we always connect the song to the world that we're living in college football. So pay attention to the images, to the stories. This is going to be a short one, and it's going to be a great one. So buckle in and brace for impact. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Okay. PATC. Please release me, let me go, for I don't love you anymore. To waste our lives would be a sin. Release me and let me love again. I have found a new love, dear, and I will always want her near. Her lips are warm while yours are cold. Release me, darling, let me go. Please release me, can you see? You'd be a fool to cling to me. To live our lives would bring us pain. So release me and let me love again. So release me, let me the SEC love itself again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Humperdink, Bumpadink, whatever his name is, Inkelberg, Humperdink, 1967 PATC rendition. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Sankey talking to the NCAA. Greg Sankey hugging the silo with the big lipstick. The lips are warm on the silo. The lips are cold on the NCAA. There it is. Now, I know you guys love that rendition. I know your animals, your family did not have any problems with that performance. Frank Potter, pray for us all. My goodness. Numbskull News. Oh, no, you didn't have to panic. Is it normal for the cats to howl? Come on. That's ridiculous. Daniel Gorby, my 2 cats just ran under the bed. That did not happen. Your 2 cats jumped in your lap, and they were never so happy, Daniel Gorby, to be sitting with you and listening to this beautiful rendition. The Big Ten should make Congress listen to this. Fast track to a surrender. My goodness. That ain't right.
Oh my God!
That is not correct at all. Troy, my husky, is howling because he's happy. That's what huskies do. They howl when they're happy. Mayor McCheese, when does the warm-up end? That's a cappella music. That is a cappella music. Dante's in Purgatory, Minnesota Department of Fish and Wildlife, sending officers to the Pflugar residence for possible... That's not right.
Oh my God!
That's just not how it is. Silos have a phallic shape. Is Gray cleaning the PATC chalkboard? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. My goodness. Elvon Gully, Mohr. Elvon Gully is a genius. Absolute musical genius. Let's go Silo. Mohr Simmons. Major Cajones for doing that song. I do all my songs a cappella. All of them. Every single one of them. I don't need no music. I do. What? Come on. Now that is not true at all. No. Mama Duck Clemson Tiger. My dad just walked in, heard you singing, and said you need singing lessons. No. It must be over. The dogs quit howling. You know who would have appreciated that rendition? The School of the Deaf? That's ridiculous. My wife ran in the room thinking cats were fighting. Mama Duck is confirming that's exactly what happened. Frank Potter, my fish are dead. Minnesota needs stronger noise pollution. You know what? You know what the problem is? Hold on. Fat guy from Minnesota is calling a timeout. You know what the problem is? Comedians always say that their performance is only as good as their audience. Do I have to say anything more? Do I have to say anything more? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the PATC rendition of, I don't even know what I sang. But again, that segues into our major story of the day. And we're going to get to it right now. And then we're going to open up your phone calls. Open up the phone calls. That's Greg singing for you. Absolutely. Will the Big Ten and the SEC begin breakaway negotiation efforts with the NCAA soon? What are we talking about? Greg. What are we talking about? There's no Why would the NCAA negotiate? We haven't heard this. Okay, so this is the question that the chatter behind the curtain, they are waiting for this, any indications of this, and this is the reason why. We were told, so I asked the questions, and we were told, not just myself, but BTM, his associates, so right now we believe there's nothing imminent. We could be wrong. Nothing is imminent. Nothing is imminent on the breakaway. Nothing imminent on a quick strike expansion. Nothing is operational. We've explained that. We've been saying the same thing. But there was some communications on possibly you better get ready. The schools better get ready. That's why the Florida State Money Perch told us what he said. And then the next day, the president of Miami said what he said. And But for the Big Ten and the SEC to evaluate all the risks, to all the scenarios, different scenarios that they are talking about. They want to know the risk to the NCAA. I've had the question. Rick, our callers had questions. You've all had questions. And none of us have the answer. But the question has been, does the NCAA sue the Big Ten and the SEC? Does the NCAA completely shut their doors? Is the NCAA and all these conferences willing to work with the Big Ten and the SEC if they decide to do a partial breakaway, a football-only breakaway, a CBA, not a CBA, but some sort of advanced, complicated player compensation package to their revenue makers and their conferences? Would the NCAA be willing to work with the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12 and the ACC, those who decide to break away and form their own rules, their own enforcement arms? Would the NCAA be okay with just being an umbrella that would still have some sort of NCAA championship events? They would still manage all that. Exactly where does the NCAA stand on a Big Ten, SEC, and potentially Big 12, ACC breaking away from the NCAA? Now, of course, the NCAA is us. They represent the member institutions of hundreds of Division I, Division II. They represent hundreds of universities. And so the question is, those outside of the Big Ten, SEC, and potentially those outside of the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and Big 12, will they work with these conferences? What are the risks involved with the Big Ten and SEC? That is a big question that the Big Ten and the SEC do not have the answer to. So how can they possibly evaluate the risk of doing a breakaway when they don't know what the NCAA would even do? Besides the courts and the politicians and the media, there's a lot of hurdles to do this. It's a lot of risk to do this. And there's a lot of risk not to do it because we don't have any governance structure that has any credibility in the courts. So the chatter behind the curtain is waiting for any indication that there is some sort of communication between the Big Ten and the SEC and the NCAA to sit down and just to see the negotiations of what this new world would look like. Not a complete breakaway. Those efforts could be happening soon, according to what we were told, but they haven't begun yet. Also, another story. Susan Murray. Maxine says hi. She's watching. Sue, did Maxine? That's my mother, everybody. That's my mother. Sue, did Mom hear my singing? Sue, did Mom hear my performance? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if Mom heard my sing. I did a PATC rendition tonight. For those who don't know, my mother, 90. No, we missed it. You got to go back. Sue, you got to go back. Go back about 10, 15 minutes. Go back 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, right? This is me on stage. Hold on. Hold on. That is Engelbert Pflugar instead of Engelbert Humperdinck. I did an Engelbert Humperdinck 1967 song. So go check that out, Sue, and then come back and watch the rest of this beautiful program. All right. Now, there is one person that is going to understand my singing performance. All right? Appreciate my singing performance. She heard it and she cut me out of her will. Give Greg credit. He can cover a song better than he can cover points. Okay, we will listen, but you are no Engelbert. I get treated the same way by my family that I do within the PATC family. So there it is. There is all the evidence that you need. Nobody appreciates brilliance. Nobody appreciates greatness. I think my mother, the secret went out a couple of years ago. The big secret, and I've told her over and over again, I am not her biological son. I am not Maxine Roney Pflugar's biological son. There's no way I'm her biological son. I am not the youngest of six. I am the biological son of Elvis Presley. I'm Elvis Presley Jr., Mother. You know that, and I know that. We've talked about it. I am, what's that girl's name? Lisa Maria Presley. I'm her twin brother. And Elvis did not want his son. Elvis did not want his son to have all that pressure. So they had to. So you all adopted me, Mom. You all adopted me. We all know the story. We all know the story. Okay. Okay. Only a mother could love that singing. All right. What we were talking, oh yeah, we were talking about the Big Ten SEC. Now there's going to be a bunch of people typing on their X account. Greg thinks he's Elvis Presley Jr. He's delusional. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. So there is another, besides the chatter behind the curtain, before we get to your phone calls. There is another story that I think Notre Dame does not like where the Big 12 and the ACC cannot expand. They do not like this, all these conferences staying static. Now, again, they don't mind the Big 10 and the SEC. They don't mind that part of the, they did not say any negative words about it. That's not, they don't care. They do not want to share their media rights. That's the big problem that Notre Dame has. But they did not have a problem with the SEC and the Big Ten not being able to expand. But they do have a problem. It did not go their way on the Big 12 and the ACC not being able to accept any new members. And I think there is going to be there is chatter behind the curtain, and I think it's going to come out in public, that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish are getting a little more worried about everybody jacking up their conference games, regardless, even if they don't go in a breakaway. So, and they're not feeling all that good that the Big 12 is possibly going to do that as well. So there is a growing concern in Irish country that this new world, the walls continue to squeeze in, but they did not like that addition, that change to the bill. For whatever reason, that is going to get out here, I believe, soon. Greg Dangerfield Pflugar, no question about it. No question about it. Old Texas Tech man. Looks like Yormark will leave the Big 12. Him and the 15 other ADs want Tech to pay for the Big 12 lawsuit. Legal fees. Sorsby dropped his lawsuit. Texas Tech now playing Big 12 lawsuit fee. And that's another big story. The Big 12 have not dropped their lawsuit. It sounds like some Big 12 presidents want Texas Tech to pay for the legal costs of the Big 12. I had somebody tell me, Texas Tech, man, that both sides are going to try to come out a winner on that. Like the Big 12 is going to take, these conferences have some money vaulted away for certain special occasions. The Big Ten is like, the last time we heard, the Big Ten had over $250 million vault banked away. At one time they had over $400 million, but it fluctuates. And the Pac-12 had $50 million when they died. And one time I heard that the Big 12 had $40 million. I don't know what they have now. But I think what they're going to do, I was told that they thought what was going to happen is the Big 12 was going to move some money around and say, this is coming out of the Texas Tech future distribution, or the money that would go to this bucket from Texas Tech. And the Red Raiders are going to be able to say, we did not pay their Big 12 legal fees. It's going to be a semantic argument, but the legal bills are going to get paid for the Big 12 in some sort of bank account that they have, and both sides are going to declare the winner, and hopefully there is peace in the Big 12. Jacoby Cat, $5 holler. Whoops. Sorry about that. $5 holler super chat. The Iowa Hawkeye. As a kid, I watched my overly confident dad get beat up by strangers in public. I assume that's what being a Gopher fan feels like. That's what I assume what being a Gopher fan feels like. What does a Wisconsin Badger fan feel like? What does a Nebraska Cornhusker fan feel like? What are more than a half of the Big Ten's fans feel like if the Gopher fan is the overconfident dad that gets beat up? Mohr After Dark, thank you for the $5 holler, Jacoby Cat. I appreciate it, sir, very much. Mohr After Dark, I know he loved that singing performance. He absolutely loved the dramatic performance. Greg is so cold that his singing gave the auto-tune a bad case of pneumonia. Again, a comedian and a singer is as only good as their audience. If my audience do not have the musical IQ, the musical high-level intelligence to appreciate such a great a cappella performance, well, that is not for me to, I cannot help that. I cannot help that. All right. Greg, you said that over half the Big Ten sucks. No, I said that the Gophers are better than half of the Big Ten. Better than half of the Big 12. Better than half of the ACC. Better than half of the FBS. And they have been for quite a while. BYU football. Go check out Golden Gopher football this year and get back to me. All right. Here we go. We're going to open up the phone lines. And again, we're just having a nice, easy, shortened Sunday night program. We've been on the air for every day, I don't know, for the last 40 days or something like that. It has been one hell of a run. We've done we've been chopping up a lot of college football news. Again, for a reminder, we are holding an I Do Declare competition, a world championship. You put in a bold prediction that it's going to happen during the season or a little bit here in the off season. And I do declare, I give you evaluation from 1 to 5 points. 1 to 5 points. 1 being it is most likely to occur, but it can't be a chalk. And a 5-pointer, most unlikely to occur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the evaluation points that I would give you. During the season, now again, you have until the beginning, the start of the kickoff of week 0, the first game in week 0 to get your I Do Declare predictions in. And then during the season, we're going to keep track who gets what right, who gets what's wrong. The Badgers win the Axe. Ryan Willie, 2 points. If the Badgers lose to Minnesota, Ryan Willie will be down 2 points. If the Badgers win, Ryan Willie would get 2 points on that. So these are the predictions. We've got a lot of them. I'm just going to show them. You go ahead and take a look. Go ahead and take a look at what your current competition is. Some very interesting I Do Declare. And again, the super chats that come in on an I Do Declare, that money is going to go to the Special Olympics of Minnesota, dedicated to Michael King, as we've announced many, many times. These are the I Do Declare predictions. Somebody is going to be the I Do Declare world champion of college football, and you're going to get a trophy. We are going to send you a trophy here from PATC, from societyawards.com. The competition ends at the end of the national championship football game. As you see, there is quite a variety, a diversity of bold predictions. Some of them are completely insanity. Some of them are completely insane. And some of them, I dare say, a genius. An absolute genius. Um, 54 predictions. Up to 60 predictions. 66 predictions. 72 predictions. 78. 84. 88. We're up to 88 predictions in our I Do Declare competition. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So those will be open. You can put those predictions in until the beginning of the national championship game. Mohr and After Dark. Greg is so cold that the auto captions just say "burr, burr." You know what? You know what sounds like burr, Moen? If you go up to the betting window and you take every pick that I make against the spread, because this year I'm going to be Greg the Gold. The betting window, the paper that comes out is going to go burr, and that the money that they're going to stack you after you win is going to go burr. Those are the only burrs that I am going to create for you, Moen After Dark. But thank you for the $2 holler. Thank you for the $2 holler. We've got Teller 580, who does not like me at all, but I do appreciate the $2 holler, Teller. I appreciate your hate watch. You're giving us a click. You're giving us a view. Thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate it. Numbskull News. I do declare Houston. Wow. Houston will win the Big 12. We got to book this in before we get to your phone calls here. My goodness. What valuation should we have on this? It can't be a 1. That is BYU, Utah. Numbskull News. What do you want? Do you want a 2 or a 3 on that? Remember, if you get it right, you get the points. If you get it wrong, you get deducted the points. It's a 2 or a 3. It can't be a 5. 5 is Cincinnati. 5 is the bottom half of the bottom fourth of the conference. Houston, I got Houston coming in 4th. Architects is 2.5. I will give Ken's meaning. I'm going to give it a 3. I am going to give it a 3. Okay. 89. Houston wins Big 12. We're going to give it a 3-year. We're going to give it a 3-year. Numbskull News. Numbskull News is good with 3. Daniel Gorby says 3. I don't think it's a 4. Houston's a 3. I think a 4 is, in my opinion, is like a Kansas, West Virginia, Arizona State, Baylor. TCU, Arizona, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Houston's like a 3. Utah, BYU, I don't know, guys. We're going to go with the 3. It's a little bit of a science, and it's a little bit of an art. Little bit of science, little bit of art. Numbskull, the gold. I love that pick. I absolutely love that pick. I love that Houston team. Connor Wegman, Amari Thomas, really good defense. Really, really good defense. I got to get back. We've got some very kind super chats that we got to get to here before we get to the phone calls. Jacobra Cat, Iowa Hawkeye, $2 holla. so cold, he turns warthogs into hogs. All right. Again, another super chat that I do not understand from Jacoby Cat, but I do love his creativity, and thank you so much for the generosity, Mr. Hawkeye. I very much appreciate it. Mama Duck Clemson Tiger, a massive super chat. Wow. Unbelievable. Mama Duck, thank you so very much. Mama Duck Clemson Tiger. My dad said to put this towards singing lessons. Wow. Wow. I am 58 years old. I've got this thick northern Minnesota accent. I've already had singing lessons. I've had lots of singing lessons. I've had lots of performances. I've done it all from A to Z. I've done it all. This is what you get. This is what you get. I appreciate your father so very much, Mama Duck. And I appreciate you. Appreciate your husband. But this is it. It doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any better than this. I appreciate it, Mama Duck. I appreciate it so very much. Wow, massive super chat. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. And Jacoby Cat, I do declare Minnesota lose to Iowa on an illegal fair catch. I'm not going to book that in, Jacoby Cat, because you already have a bunch of Minnesota-Iowa stuff. I do appreciate the $2 holler, and I know you're having fun with the illegal fair catch. But let me remind you, Hawkeye, and let me remind all of you Hawkeyes that Iowa did not lose on an illegal fair catch. It was an illegal hand signal. And it was an obvious illegal hand signal. And you cannot forward the ball when you have an illegal hand signal. And let me remind Jacoby Cat and all the other Hawkeyes out there. The Hawkeyes got the ball back after all that. And they still couldn't score. You had a lousy quarterback. And I don't know if, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think your quarterbacks are any better this year. I think the pig of Rosedale might be coming back to Minnesota. How about them apples? How about them apples? Okay, let's open up the phone lines. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. I have a question for all of you. Do you think that this week of college football, are we going to enter into at least 1 week of a slowdown of the dramatics? Can we all just have a week to relax? Can we all just have a week where we all get along? We come in here, we have some fun, we do more breakdowns. We have done over 56 spotlights during the off season, starting with Miami on April 13th, USC, Boston College, Kentucky, Baylor, Auburn, Cincinnati, Houston, Duke, California, Minnesota, Georgia. Then we went into the late April into May, starting with Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, finishing off with Wake Forest, West Virginia. We went into the middle of May. We did South Carolina, the Eva Badgers. We finished up with Syracuse, Mississippi State, and Florida. We went into LSU, North Carolina State, Northwestern. Then we finally got into the month of June. The Arizona schools, Maryland, TCU, finished up Illinois, June 11th. And now we are on to Pittsburgh. Can we just have a week of breaking down football? Or are we going to have to do that and all the dramatics that go along that has been happening here? Are we going to get more information on the Texas Tech? And, is Texas Tech going to even respond to the last report of Heather Dinich and others of the Big 12 possibly wanted Texas Tech to pay out their legal fees? I do declare that Texas doesn't make the Big 12 title game. I cannot accept that, Numbskull News. And here's the reason why. At this point, with Will Hammond as the quarterback who's injured, and that Francis guy who's the backup quarterback coming from Tulsa, who's going to have to start, and he was not good at Tulsa. I don't see every one of these commitment, every one of these I do declares have to have at least enough of a level of boldness to it where I can give it 1 point, where it's not the chalk. I think at this point, Texas Tech, nobody in the Big 12, I think, is not, they're not the chalk to make it to the Big 12 title game. They're the favorite, but they're not the total chalk. You know what I'm saying? If Sorsby was the quarterback, the Red Raiders would be minus whatever. I cannot accept that. It's too much of a. I'm sorry, Numbskull News. I tell you what, though, you did a $2 super chat. So give me another one, and I'll book it in there. Okay? You don't have to give me no more super chats. Just give me another one, and we'll get it in there. I know I have. Well, that was my way too early predictions, which I'm going to change in August. But since then, they've lost Brendan Sorsby. So I do not think the Red Raiders. Let me know if the chat thinks I'm wrong. I don't think anybody is more of a favorite to make it than not to make it. Oh, yeah, exactly what I meant. TCU beats Tech. Okay, we'll do that. All right, TCU beats Tech. Let me book that in really quick. The phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody wants to call, if they don't, look, that's fine too. It has been a long week. We've been on the air every single day. I completely get it, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is worn out. Everybody in the PATC family is worn out. And plus, my singing was so sensational tonight that I think a lot of you are having a hard time, you're thinking about the great singing performance. TCU defeats Texas Tech. Okay, that is... And I don't know what we should give that. It's this thing about it's the quarterback situation. I think I'm going to give that a 3 as well. TCU is right in that. In my opinion, they're in the top half of the conference. At the bottom of the top half of the conference, thank you. Hold on one second. Thank you, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger. All kidding aside, I wouldn't want to miss you singing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Tech is still the betting favorite, but are they the betting favorite, Antoine Johnson, to make the Big 12 championship game? They're the favorite among all of them, but are Texas Tech going to the Big 12 championship game? Are they still more of a favorite than not going? If not, I'll put a 1 point in for, you know what, I'll go ahead. Numbskull News, I'm going to put you in for 1 point. The Red Raiders do not make the Big 12 championship game. But we got to put it as a 1-pointer. Okay? Hopefully that is the compromise we can settle on. 1-pointer, Texas Tech does not make the Big 12 championship game. Jacoby Cat, I do declare Colorado, go offense, makes it to the CFP. Somebody made a prediction that Colorado was going to win 10 regular seasons. We gave that evaluation of 5 points. Jacoby Cat, we're going to give that evaluation of 5 points. John Grove says, I do declare USF finishes the regular season unbeaten. We're probably going to have to give that a 5-pointer. Most definitely. Now, maybe if they had their quarterback still. NBM, I do declare the Oklahoma State Cowboys beat Tortilla Tech. I don't want to spend all the time writing it in. I will get it in sometime after the show. We'll update it like we always do. NBM, we're going to book that. And we're going to give that a 3-pointer. Or possibly a 2-pointer. I do have Oklahoma State ahead of TCU. That is a 2.5 situation, MBM. 2.5 situation. I appreciate it, Numbskull News. We will get that in there. A lot of people went to bat for you, Numbskull News. We're going to put it in as a 1-pointer. I don't know what a go-go is. I'm not a Colorado believer. I tell you that. 2 points. No, 1 point. 1 point. Man, you guys are hard negotiators. The phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Nobody wants to call. That's okay. It's another Sunday night. People are busy. People are very busy on Sunday. We wanted to get this live show. We wanted to get that great singing performance delivered to you. We wanted to do the... I'll go ahead and take the phone out the hook. I think people are too busy. We wanted to make sure we got the... Again, we got the Pittsburgh Panthers spotlight done. I'm very interested to see what we do have one big-time Pittsburgh Panthers PATC family member who does not make comments in the chat. I wonder what he's going to think of our prediction here with the Panthers. Mason Heinschel, the great quarterback, Jacurian Turner, who just exploded at the end of last season. Absolutely spectacular. Blue Hicks. He's got to develop more. He's got to reach it to another level. Malik Knight is the great wild card for Pittsburgh this year, coming from Western Carolina FCS. Very good year, but now he's playing in ACC, Power 4 Conference. He's going to have to give them some production. Once again, the Pittsburgh Pirates have a very good linebacker leading the defense like they always do. We did look at the Pittsburgh Panthers schedule early in the show. And again, we got the Pittsburgh Panthers right outside of the top half of the conference. We got the Pittsburgh Panthers in our way too early order of finish prediction for the ACC conference. The Panthers coming in 9th place. All right. There really is no news. There never is any news happening on a Sunday night, excuse me. Jacoby Cat, GoGo is an innovative office and system that helped UNLV score a ton of points. Thank you, Jacoby Cat. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. So Colorado has that GoGo. Oh, that's right. They have that offensive coordinator, don't they? I'm going to have to see it to believe it. Yeah, Jose, I decided to hang up because nobody was calling, and I think we're going to close it up. Thank you, Jacoby Cat. I appreciate the $5 holler. I appreciate your generosity tonight, like always, Mr. Hawkeye. I appreciate it very, very much. I do want to thank those who donated the program tonight to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Thank you so much, Kay Struthers, Evo Badger, Jacoby Cat, Mowing After Dark, Jacoby Cat, Mama Duck, Clemson Tiger. Maybe I will do some singing lessons. so I can surprise you all when I stay on key. Mowing After Dark. Thank you, Numbskull News, Jacoba Cat, Numbskull News, Jacoba Cat, John Grove. I do declare that the Florida Gators will finish the regular season unbeaten. That's got to be a 5-pointer. No disrespect to the Bulls. But the American, when you don't have Byron Brown and he's the quarterback of Auburn, is it a 4 or is it a 5? Should it be a 4? If somebody wants to make a last-second argument that should be a 4, I don't know. MBM, I do declare the Oklahoma State Cowboys beat Tortilla Tech. Jacoba Cat, I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody coming on in. Thank you, Mama Duck. Appreciate it. David Kreitzer, did I miss the talk about the breakaway? We had a little bit of a talk of the chatter behind the curtain is waiting to see if there's going to be any negotiations. Cloak and dagger behind the scenes negotiations from the Big Ten and the SEC and what an NCAA, what a breakaway would look like, what a partial breakaway would look like, what are the ramifications, what are the risks, because the Big Ten and the SEC, for them to do the risk-benefit analysis on a breakaway, they got to know what will the NCAA do, what are they willing to do. It's a dangerous game that the Big Ten and the SEC are playing. It's also a dangerous game that everybody's playing right now. So there is no way to get away from it. Gophers will lose. The end. Thank you, Jacoba Cat. Appreciate it very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Stormy Cyclone. Yes, but it was overshadowed by his brilliant singing. Oh, he did not add the word brilliant in there. I thought Stormy Cyclone added the word brilliant into that comment, but I guess he forgot to put it in there. I think he forgot to put that in there. Numbskull News, that ain't no 5 points. Which one? Going undefeated with the new quarterback, new coach. If it's not 5, it's 4.5. Right? I just don't see it. But all right, I'll let it marinate a little bit longer. I do want to appreciate all you coming in here. Thank you very much. Before you leave, subscribe to our channel, smash the like button if you like our content, and do not forget to get yourself notified. Do not forget to ring the notification bell. We'll see you tomorrow. How dramatic will tomorrow be? How dramatic will this next week be in college football? Buckle up, brace for impact. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. And as always, family, God, Golden Gophers. And if my mother is still watching this live show, I love you, and I'll see you this week. God bless. All right, I'll see you guys later.